Okay, in my series on black powder guns, and because the weather's horrible and I really can't do anything in the garage or outside, let's go over some of the basics of, we're going to discuss cap and ball revolvers here. And what I'm going to cover is some of the tools that are necessary to go out and shoot this gun. That's the thing about black powder guns. You're going to need a lot of little tools and things to screw with it when it comes to cleaning and doing maintenance. And the thing about black powder is you must do the maintenance. In other words, you shoot the gun, clean it that day, get it cleaned, clean it thoroughly, and oil it, and put it in storage. And also check on it. You know, go look at it a couple weeks later or a month later, and make sure there's no rust getting in there. Because, I mean, they're fun, but the reason a lot of people don't like them, if you don't clean them well or maintain them, you can ruin them real fast. I mean, quick. In a matter of 48 hours, you can rust out one of these. So that's something, you got to take responsibility on yourself. So, let's see. Well, we got this pistol here. And we got this stand. This is something I bought in a store, and it's not quite correct. There are people that make stands, and you can use the stand to either display the gun, clean it, or to load it. There's actually people that make something that would be adjustable so you can get this right, because as you see, this 1860 Army doesn't quite fit on that quite well. All right, so you get yourself one of these pistols. Okay, first of all, a majority of them, they're either 44, 36, 31 caliber. I don't have a 31. I got a 36 and I got several 44s. Now, someone asked me, what about the ball size? Okay. My suggestion is when you get the gun, and like another thing I'm telling you, the guns that you buy like recently that were manufactured, say in the last 5 years, may be a little bit different than guns. If you go on a gun broker, there's people who are telling you this gun was made in 1975, 1979. They are different in very slight ways, okay? So bear that in mind, and I'll try to cover that. All right, so say you get the gun. You go, check the cylinders like I told you, make sure they're beveled. All right, a newer one will be. That older one I had a bevel at this one here. Then go with your calipers and measure the inside of the cylinder. You know, and 44, they're usually, what did I tell you they were? 445, 446. So you'd want a ball at least 5 thousandths to 8 thousandths, maybe even 10 oversized. And if it's too big, when you go and ram it down, all it's going to do is shave the lead off the ball. If you use a slightly oversized ball, you know, slightly, I mean no more than 8 or 10 thousandths, okay? But in general, I'm saying 5 to 10, just as, and try that, and then see what happens. And like I said, a chain fire really ain't going to hurt you unless you're in a room full of flammable gas or something. And then, you know, just try it out. And like I said, I've really never had any problems. But more on that later. Okay, so now you figure out what balls you want and what you're going to use. I use black powder. You can use a substitute. I don't use them, so I don't know. But in general, in revolvers, you want to go with 3F powder. What the F's mean, you got 1F, 1.5, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, 3F in general is what people use in these revolvers. Pistol powder. I don't know if 31s and getting the smaller ones, you know, it might change, but say 36 caliber, which is a common one, you would want to use 3F. Say it's a single shot, 40, 45, or 50, you know, you're still good there, you know. I do use 2 in some of the larger revolvers. You can get away with it. It isn't really going to make much of a difference. And I've used 2 in the 44 calibers. So 44s, 50s, if you happen to have one of them weird French pistols that are 68 or something, yeah, then you can use 2 or even 1, okay? I mean, some people, oh, well, you know, just try it, okay? Have a can of powder, you know, this is 1F. Have a couple different size grains and try them out and see what you like. And some of them do perform better using 2 other than 3. All right, so we got the ball, we got the powder. Now, it's going to come to caps. Caps and a capper. You can usually put the caps on with your thumb, or you can get something like this pistol capper. I like this one. It's for, you got 10 and 11. And what it is I believe the sizes, number 10s are like 310. I had a couple. Fortunately, here they are. They're in my pocket. Yeah, CCI caps. They come in little tins of 100. Number 10s, and it says 309, so I don't know if that's a diameter. And number 11's 311. So 11s are slightly bigger. And generally on your rifle, the nipple will take an 11. 10s were the thing. And now another thing. They say to use CCI 10s because they're a little bit tighter. And a lot of these Italian repros, especially the old ones, take number 10s or these CCI 10s you got to use. Now the newer ones have an 11 size nipple, or you can go and buy replacements. If you're having trouble with the caps falling off and that, you can go to Track of the Wolf, identify your thread size, and all of Track of the Wolf's replacement nipples are for number 11 caps. So you can change them out. They're $5 a piece, so it's going to cost you some money, but that may be a solution to eliminate your cap problem. Now, I'm going to get 2 cylinders out, and we're going to see. And basically, you know, you're going, well, how do I know which one? If you got a new gun, check the owner's manual and see what it says to use, okay? If you have a gun that you just bought, no box, no paperwork, then get yourself some number 11s, number 10s. I'm going to pull these cylinders out, and we're going to try to just slip these on for a fit and see what you end up getting. Okay, first off, when it comes to cappers, this is a capper, Ted Cash capper. It holds 100 number 10 caps. And how this works, you see the little things there? You go and press this, holding it upside down, and it drops a cap up into the end there. Now this thing will work only with Colt style revolvers. Why? This is the Remington, this is the Colt. If you notice, the cutout is square on the Colt, and the cutout around the nipple is a little bit more internal or whatever, recessed. This capper won't fit on these nipples. I found that out the hard way. And they tell you that when you go to buy it. I mean, you can't get it to go in and go down, where you can with the Colt, just like that. Put it down, and then you would draw it out like that. Okay, and that's a number 10. And what you want to do is make sure when you put the nipple on, it's not quite flush on there. Then I have a number 11 here that we will take and just try to drop on there. See, this is going to be fun. Let's do this. And then I'll put number CCI 10. Well, we got 10 and 11 on there. Okay, and taking a look at it, they both, when we put it back into the cylinder here, the 10 fits on there better. This one kind of hitting the frame when I turn it around. So we're going to say this one uses number 10 caps. Okay? So now we're going to take this off of this one. And that's why another thing you're going to need a pocket knife, because when you fire these, you're going to have to scrape them off. That will come off fairly easy. That one don't want to kind of come off. A second. Okay, now we're going to see with the Remington cylinder. That's a number 11. That's a number 10. The 10 doesn't want to kind of drop down on there. The 11 does. And then when you turn them upside down, that one fell off because I didn't force it. Okay, the number 10. So this cylinder takes number 11 caps. And also the problem that the round capper won't go in there, you're going to have to take, yeah, that don't want to go on. That's riding high. What you'll have to do is go and get an inline capper, and there's a guy that makes a video, and you have to file one side off. I'm going to have to get one for this gun anyway, so we'll go through it. And I'll show you how to modify it, and then it uses number 11 caps. This uses 11, this one uses 10. Okay, that's kind of how you find out. Now, another tool, okay, like I said, cappers, you get this one works with Colts and number 10 caps, and I'm going to have to get a Traditions inline number 11 capper and then modify it to work on the other gun. Another tool that is kind of necessary is a nipple wrench. And what you need that for is when you go to clean this and take these apart, you're going to have to pull these nipples out of the cylinder. And that is for a maintenance and cleaning thing. Okay, so make sure you get one. You can get a T-wrench. They got some that are different shapes and that. This one, you see, I had to grind because whatever it was for, to get it into one of these cylinders, I had to grind it a little or sand it. So a nipple wrench is important. So capper, nipple wrench. Now we're going to go on. Another accessory is kind of a necessity. We're going to go on to how to measure the powder to load the gun. Powder measure of some sort. Okay, when you go to load your pistol, you can use a stand or you can just hold the thing, but we got it at half cock and the cylinder rotates. And basically what you would do, get this in here. I think everyone knows this. Let me change the camera position. Alright, so when you're loading, this is free turning the cylinder. And what you do is you put your powder in the ball. Actually, it's from the other way because it turns this way, but I'll do it this way. Put your powder and then the ball in there. And then you would use this lever here to come down and compress it. Okay? So, the trick is, and make sure your caps are not on until after it's loaded. Don't have a cap in there, all right? Because that's a good way to have an accident. So no caps, everything's empty. So you want to go and get the powder in there. So you're going to need some sort of A, measure, and B, way of getting it in there. Simple method is this little powder measure here. This is a pistol size powder measure. This is a much larger rifle size. I think this goes up to like 200 grains or something. Let me see what this one goes up to. No, about 130 grains. If you pull that down, that tube holds 130 grains of powder. And that's the rifle one. This one, this tiny one, with the little lid, if you notice that lid slides on there, so you'd open that up. This one only goes to about 45. So this is for pistols. Okay, you buy this little gizmo, and then what you would do is you'd set your gauge down here. I had it set on 20 the last time I was using it, so I guess that's where I was loading in these. So you set it on 20. Now, the thing is, how do you get the powder in there without spilling it all over the place? Okay, let me get my hand steady. Well, years ago with the old Goex tin cans, they made these little spouts. You pull the cap off, and what I would do is just sit there, measure out the powder, you know, not spilling it, because when you open this up, this is about 1.25 inches wide. It's kind of hard to funnel it. Put it in there, and then you would close that, and then you just go and dump it like this in there. So the little spout gets you in there. Okay. The new cans don't use this spout, so this is becoming. I have no idea how, you know, the new cans and the plastic cans don't use this. So how to use this or how to trickle powder in there, I don't know. All right, so that's another thing. So what you can use also is a powder flask. Now these usually come in sets. Some pistols come with these different sizes. Now how a powder flask works is this is just a tube that screws on here, and you can change these. Now this flask I think may have came with a rifle of some sort, and the whole idea behind the flask, looking at this, it's written on there 24. Now I don't know, 24 grains, 24 grams, whatever. You can buy these tips in different sizes and shapes. I have a bunch of them somewhere. I don't know where they were because I was going to use this. So what you would do, and this is where I kind of really don't like, this is convenient. This trigger here opens up a hole down into the flask, okay, when you pull this. So I think how I filled this collar don't come off. I tried to get it off, it was a mess. Open this up and get some little funnel or something, pour the powder down in there. I don't know if I'm doing that right or not. And now this is full of powder. So what you do, screw this on, and this is marked 24 something. I can't see it if it's grams or grains. What you would do is take your finger, put it over the end of the tube, open, you know, trigger this, open it, and make sure this closes. Okay, then you would turn it over, and you should see powder up on the end there. So whatever that is, 24 grains or 24 grams, which this may be for a rifle or something. And like I said, you can get these tubes, different sizes, to throw different grains. So now you got this tube full. And then what you would do is go over like this and pour the powder in. That's where a flask is handy with these revolvers. So that's another option you have. And say that this tube you have on there is throwing way too much. I think 24 grains of powder is about the max for these. So this is either the maximum charge, or this may be, if it's grams, I can't tell because it's scuffed up, it may be way too much. This may be for a rifle. Okay, so what you would do is file it or cut it down, and it's, you know, volumetric. Make it smaller and just keep adjusting it till you get what you want. And you can buy these in different sizes and custom make a charge for your gun by filing or trimming down this tube, and then it screws in there. Okay. Okay, sorry about that. I had a phone call I had to get. So we went over the tools, you know, the nipple wrench, powder measures, powder flasks, okay, cappers. All right, so now you got your powder in there. Another thing that you can use, there's two ways of doing this. You got these Wonder wads, these felt wads, okay. And with this little felt wad, it's supposed to have a lubricant in there. I don't know if it's dried up over the years. You can put a little bit on there. I'll go over lubricants. And then what you would do is you get the powder in there. You put the wad over, kind of press it down, compact it, then put the ball on and put the ball on top of it. And what this will do is it kind of helps you seal the cylinder. There we go. And keeps it from chain firing. I don't know if I was using Wonder wads when this chain fired on me, so I can't remember right offhand. But for years I did not use these. These are okay, and they also help. It kind of helps clean the bore out when you shoot. Having that wad go down there kind of helps clean out the bore a little, and it is a form of lubrication. But the other way is you can just put the ball on top of the powder, crunch it down, and then you would put some of this lubricant on there. That's what I got this. This is a good general purpose lubricant. That one's kind of gnarly. Been sitting in there for over 20 years. Boar butter. I think you can still get this. Basically, it's just a greasy, all natural product lube that you can use for either the wads or just getting this on your finger and covering the top of the ball with it. Okay. Very useful. So this is something you should get. And for years, that's all I would do is put the black powder in, crunch the ball down, then put a grease or lubricant on the whole cylinder. This stuff's pretty gooey and doesn't harden up. So, you know, on the range it's okay. There's another stuff my buddy used, Spitball or something, that come in like a plastic jug like this with a point on it, and that there's several products you can use, but the wads are pretty good by themselves. All right, so I think that's about all to cover on what you would need. Okay. Nipple wrench, powder measure, capper, could get a flask or something, some kind of thing, grease, balls, wads, and the caps, and then figuring out which size cap you need. So that just about covers it to get you up and running. And you know, I will do a video when I get out to the range. I'll show you how I do this, but it's good to start accumulating this stuff before you get out to the range. You don't want to go out to the range or go to shoot the gun and realize, hey, I ain't got no grease. Maybe I should have got the wads. I got the wrong size caps, wrong size ball, whatever. So trying to make more of just a general instructional video because people have asked me for it. I know there's a lot of other channels out there. Like I was saying, a lot of other channels out there where people specialize in this. This is like their thing. So search around YouTube and look for cap and ball revolvers or lubricating. You know, ask a question, lubricating my gun, do Wonder wads work, and see if some other people have done the work and answer a lot of questions for you. Because I get a lot of questions. I cover a lot of different areas. And I get a ton of questions on all kinds of stuff. Not just what I'm covering currently, and it's hard for me to keep up. Okay, cleaning the gun. This is important. You're not going to really need much of a special cleaning kit here. Basically, some sort of a basic rod, okay, and this is one I use for the larger black powder guns, but as you see, to get the tip on there, And this is standard cleaning rod, this old-fashioned style, and I think it uses a number 8 thread, and you can put a slot and everything on there. And what you'd want to do is disassemble the gun, clean out the cylinders. What I like to do is get real hot water, and I put a wire down there and I dunk it in hot boiling water with the nipples in there. And that way I clean them out also. Then I would take the wrench, take them out, because you have to get into the threads and put the grease and everything like I did when I reassembled it. Rinse it again, and the reason you use real hot water is the hot water evaporates. Use a cleaning fluid of some sort. There are tons of them. Okay, this is one type. There are 5 or 6 other different types of black powder solvents. Get a brush of some, the correct size brush, and these would be easy, like a 44 or 45 caliber brush. Just disassemble the gun, run the brush through there, knock all the crud out. But one thing you would really want is you want to use a jag. And what's a jag? A jag is this little thing that goes on the end, and you put your patch on it. You would get the appropriate size jag, okay? Put that on your cleaning rod. Oh, this one ain't gonna fit. That's right. It's a 10. Hold on a second. Okay, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make a separate video on cleaning. Okay, because I gotta talk about all kinds of little parts, pieces, and how to do this. But basically, the thing is, clean your gun, and once you clean it out, WD-40, Ballistol, or whatever, you want to coat this whole thing down. Once you get the fouling out and everything, spray down the whole gun. Make sure it's lubricated with something that stays on there. WD-40 dissipates water. In other words, you spray it on there and it makes the water run off. You want something that makes water run off the metal. So whatever it is, or whatever your favorite cleaner is, it does that. Use that. Then put something like a CLP or something, coat the whole gun, both inside, run a patch down that's oiled, oil the bore, oil inside the cylinders, clean out them nipples, blow out the water in that, and then put your anti-seize or silicone grease into the threads so your threads don't rust from the inside out. And then you can put the gun up, like I did with this one years ago. I put this gun up 5 years ago, and not a bit of rust on it. Okay? So that's it for your basic cap and ball getting started. And as I get all the stuff and go out to shoot, we'll do some more and refresh it. And now I'm going to go on to cleaning rods and just cleaning black powder in general.